Hello students, welcome you all my YouTube channel Biology Squad. I am Dr. Preeti Srivastav, PGT Biology, JNV Godda. I am also beloved by ma'am of students of JNV Giridi and JNV Hansdia. Dear students, during this lockdown period, our learning is up. Today I am confined with class 11th and first unit diversity in the living organism, and the first chapter is the living world. So let us discuss this chapter, living world. You must have seen various types of organism around you also, and first of all, let us focus on this word. What is living? What is living? You may say different kinds of life processes you have studied in class 10th also and in junior classes also. Like you may say growth is a characteristic feature of living organism. A cell may grow in size and it is a characteristic feature of living organism. But you must have also seen the mountains also grow, isn't it? What is the difference between growth of living and non-living thing? In suppose it is mountain, it will grow up and up due to the deposition of materials or sediments outside the mountain, whereas a cell will grow due to deposition or multiplication of material from the inside. This is the difference, but you may not put it as a standard for the living being. The another one is reproduction. As you know, reproduction is very important characteristic feature of living organism. Like begets like, one organism produce species like itself, isn't it? But you may also see that there are certain sterile animals also. There are certain hybrids which do not reproduce, like mule, isn't it? And there are also some infertile couple. So this reproduction may not be also defined as the characteristic feature of living thing. The another very important term is metabolism. I had also told you during class 10th, the metabolism is the property of living organism in which various processes, various reactions, various activities which are going inside the living organism may be treated as metabolism, isn't it? And metabolism is comprises of two words. One is anabolism and another is catabolism. Anabolism is building up process inside the body, whereas catabolism is breaking down process inside the body, or you may say it as cell. So cellular organization of the living organism is very defining characteristic feature of the living organism. All the metabolic activities are occurring inside the living body in the cellular organization, or whether it is unicellular organism, it will occur in the single cell only. So cellular organization, you must have studied it also. I will tell you later on. The another characteristic feature, so you may put it as a very remarkable characteristic feature of the living organism. Another may be consciousness. Consciousness. No non-living object show consciousness. Only the living organism show consciousness. That is the response to the stimulus. Suppose there is living organism, there is stimulus from the environment, processing is going on and it will respond accordingly. There is response as per the stimulus. This is consciousness. Plants also exhibit consciousness, and actually there is a very remarkable difference between human being and other living organism. Human being has capacity for self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is the characteristic feature of human being. So you may give these two terms as defining characteristic features of the living organism. As I told you, there is cellular organization in the living body. Just recall, you have studied in class 9th that cells forms tissue, tissue forms organ, organ forms organ system, and various organ system form living, or you may say multicellular organism. Multicellular organism. It is the different level of hierarchy of cellular organization up to the organism level. There may be unicellular organism also. A single cell may represent as an organism. So these are various hierarchy of organization, and these organism, these on this earth, they show variety. There are diversity, you may say, diversity in the life on this earth, or you may give the term in together or as biodiversity. On this earth, biodiversity is very important term. Later on you will study in class 12 that Edward Wilson is sociobiologist who popularized this term biodiversity. And what is biodiversity? It is diversity of in the life on this earth, isn't it? Let us go ahead. You know, there are different kinds of organism on this earth. Then how you will recognize them? You are also knowing them by the name. There are various names, but in our country, in different states, even in different districts of the same state, the name of particular organism may vary. However, there is a process. There is a process of nomenclature. Biologically, to know the organism by single name or same name all over the world, there is a process of nomenclature. And for this nomenclature, there must be identification of organism. So you may get these kind of words in this chapter. Terms are there: nomenclature, identification. First of all, the species are being identified based upon the so many characteristic features. Later on I will tell you how they are identified. And after identification, naming has been done. And such name is given by the consent of ICBN or ICZN. These are two very important terms, and these made some standard criteria for the nomenclature of organism. International code for botanical nomenclature. If the flora is there, plants are there, then it will be follow the instruction or criteria laid down by ICBN. Whereas if it is animal, then it has to follow the criteria laid down by International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. So remember these two terms. It is very important in this chapter. So identification has been done. nomenclature has been done, and let us see some more interesting feature related to the nomenclature. All over the world, the species should be known by a single name, same name, and that is done by a very renowned biologist, you may say taxonomist, known as Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus was the scientist who proposed binomial nomenclature. We follow binomial nomenclature while naming the species. Binomial nomenclature contains two names. The first name is genus, or you may say generic name, and the another name is a specific epithet. Generic name and specific epithet. Suppose individual is mango. Suppose this is the season of mango, so let us see its biological name. Mango is known as Mangifera indica. Just you see, this is the generic name, this is the specific name. Generic name should be written by first letter should be written in capital, and in a specific name the first letter should be written in small letter. So, and both should be underlined separately, but when it is printed, it should be printed in italics. All the binomial name, all the biological name of the species are written in Latin word, and it is printed in italics, and while handwritten both should be underlined separately. So this is the rule. You may also write the name of scientist who discovered it like this. So this is very important term, binomial nomenclature, for you. So many questions may be asked in the examinations. Sometimes what happens, the generic name may be common. Suppose take example of Panthera. Panthera is generic name, and if it is tiger, it is Tigris, Panthera tigris. Then you may write it in short form also, P. leo, Panthera leo, like this. If you will take the example of plants, you may write Solanum tuberosum. The name for potato should be underlined separately, and Solanum melongana, it is brinjal. So these are the rules for the binomial nomenclature. There are so many species, there is biodiversity, you should go for that. You should at least remember 10 biological name of species per day, so that you can get some biological name. Being a biologist, we should love biodiversity. Biodiversity is of great importance. Now, there are variety of organisms, and it is impossible to learn about them. It is impossible to know about them. So, for the convenience in study, there is classification. The another step is classification. Nomenclature is there being identification and having some properties, having similar characters, dissimilar characters, they are classified into various groups. So classification is there, and study of classification is known as taxonomy. It is very important branch of biology. This we are studying in this chapter, diversity in the living organism, and the name or the term is taxonomy. What is taxonomy? It is study of classification, isn't it? So just like different hierarchy in the cellular organization, as you have seen cell, tissue, organ system, similarly here there are various level of taxonomical hierarchy also. While classifying, you have to know about taxonomical hierarchy. Different levels of classification. You may simply say it as different levels of classification. Levels of classification. Taxonomical hierarchy. And this taxonomical hierarchy is made up of taxonomical category, and what is taxonomical category? This is a rank. This is known as taxon. And what is taxon, category or rank? It is the unit of classification. You may also define that a taxon is nothing but it is group, it is a level, it is a step of classification. Grouping of organisms based upon their similarities and dissimilarities. More the similarities, they are confined to similar group, then step by step you may group them into various level of hierarchy. So taxon may be defined as unit of classification. I think you understood it better. So these are various levels of classification. Then what are taxon? What are different taxonomic categories? Let us see. If we will see different kinds of organism, then you may understand them depending upon certain characteristics. Suppose there are plants, various plants. The plants are static, they don't move, they don't perform locomotion, whereas animals perform locomotion movement. So depending upon their such single characteristic feature, they are grouped into separate taxon, like kingdom. So kingdom is the largest level of classification, you may say. Let us start in the descending order. Kingdom is highest hierarchy of classification. Now suppose the organisms which vary in certain characteristics features, they will be grouped further into another category, another taxon. So you may write phylum in case of animals and division in case of plants. You may classify them like kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, the organism or the animals having vertebral column and notochord. Phylum Invertebrata, you will study it. There are so many invertebrates which do not have their vertebral column. रीढ़ की हड्डी उनमें नहीं होती है. There is no internal skeletal system. So this is phylum. Whereas in plants also you may divide them into division. Division Thallophyta or division Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Plantae, like this. Then depending upon the more similarities, the phylum, the species may be grouped under class. Suppose we are chordate, cow is also chordate, rat is also chordate, fish is also chordate, frog is also chordate, but you have to classify them depending upon their some special features, and you may say that it belongs to class Reptilia, it belongs to class Amphibia, we belongs to class Mammalia, like that. So class is also a level of taxonomical hierarchy or taxon. Then You may write as order, family, genus, and only the specific character identify the species or present in that particular kind of species, that and the animal or the plants or the organism may be kept under such taxon. So species is the lowest level of classification, lowest taxon of classification, and it is the highest level of classification. This is in the ascending order if you have to classify, and this is in the descending order like this: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And if you will put arrow like this upward, then it is ascending level of classification. So this is very important one, you have to understand. Now for classification there are various taxonomical aids. Aids are there, support are there. So let us see what are they. There are so many taxonomical support. So you may call it taxonomical aids. With the help of such aids, you may classify the organism very easily. I think you understand it. Taxonomical aids. These are some technical devices. These are some technical things which make us able to classify the organism. There may be, you may say there are so many taxonomical aids like you may call it as herbarium. In class level, in school level also you may make it herbarium. Very simple. The plants are collected, dried and pressed and pasted on the herbarium sheet. There is herbarium sheet. You dry the plant, press it and paste on a herbarium sheet. So this is herbarium, this is and a taxonomical aid. So many herbaria are kept in the library and you may see them, you may compare your species with such herbarium also. There is another taxonomical aid which is treated as museum. What is museum? In museum actually preserved species are kept. There are two terms, conserve and preserve. Conservation means to keep them safely lively, but preserved means to keep them in died condition, in protected form, in various chemicals. So in school also you must have seen in the biolab, museum specimens are there, and in cities also you may visit for the museum too. There may be zoological park. Zoological park is man-made taxonomical aid which is in where certain species are kept in the protected environmental condition. Okay. Then there may be key. Key is very vital taxonomical aid. What is kept in the key? Key is based on the similarity and dissimilarity. It contains a pair of characters, either similarities or dissimilarities in, or you may say contrasting characters are kept in the key as a couplet. And each steps of or each statement in the key are known as lead. Each statement are known as lead in the key. It is very much important. It is analytical in nature. So key is very important. The another one is flora. In flora, plants are kept depending upon their habitat and distribution. The another may be, you may say as, there may be monograph. In monograph, a single taxon is described. So there are some more taxonomical aid like manual may be there, and in manual also the description is there. You may find description and you may compare your species for the classification. There are so many taxonomical aids with the help of which scientists or a biologist, if they get some new species, they can identify them and perform the classification. So dear children, this is all about this chapter. I think this is the base of the diversity in the living organism. This is base for a biologist. So please go through this chapter, and this is the lockdown period, but your learning should be up. Please stay safe, stay at home and use mask, sanitizer, keep 1 meter distance with 2 persons and use kala also. Wish you best of luck. Bye.